welcome to the Hannahcast, everybody. This is ChristianTylerHannah, and I really flubbed that intro. Anyways, this is your one-stop shop for movie news and for movie nerds, and we have our very own Burke Jurgler here, Raphael.
That me, resident expert.
It is. He is the Jurgler of Burks.
Expert on that stuff, bro.
Yeah,
I went to school for 19 years to learn the craft.
Exactly. And yeah, sorry guys that it's taken forever to get this podcast up. I don't know what's going on, but whatever. But we're here now, and I guess we might, as Philip DeFranco says let's just jump right into it. But before we jump right into it, you see, I'm thinking, I'm not gonna put in the sappy music, but do you like the Hannahcast? Do you like that? Like, do you like what we do? No?
We should have hired Sarah McLachlan for this.
Oh, I don't know. Wait, is that the Full House?
That's the lady. No, that's the lady that does those sad dog commercials, like for $1 a day. That's less than a cup of coffee. You can put your friendly local Hannahcast. You can keep it going. Just for $1 a month, not even a day.
Yeah, for $1 you can have your name in our in our videos, like how you saw the beginning of this one. Unless you're watching the audio only version of the Hannahcast, which I don't really know what to tell you about then. But actually, at that point, you're already a Hannahcast member. And speaking of the Hannahcast audio only version, you can get that for $5 a month. Do you want to listen to the Hannahcast while you're working out or whatever? Well, this tier allows you to just listen to the Hannahcast audio only version, and this also gets your name in the videos. And hey, if you want to chip in $15 a month after you watch or listen to the Hannahcast, why not check out the Hannahcast After Show, where me and Raphael will just talk about random stuff. You'll never know what where each episode is going to go. We could talk about stuff like
how tasty used slippers are.
I did not know that. I really didn't.
Pretty tasty. I'll tell you more about it in the after show.
See, guys, you don't want to miss out on that. Like I said, $1 a month gets your name in the video. Gets your name in the beginning of the videos. $5 a month gets you your name in the videos and the audio only version of the Hannahcast. And $15 a month gets your name in the videos, the Hannahcast audio only version, and the Hannahcast After Show. So please consider becoming a Patreon supporter, and maybe we can live off of this. Maybe. I don't know. This is I was about to make never mind.
It's like I always said, why live in like a $600,000 house when you can live under a $6 million bridge?
Exactly. Well, then again, we might be inheriting our grandparents' house pretty soon if things go right.
Hey, that'll be baller.
That would be. But yeah, back to these topics. We have a lot of topics to tackle, and the first one we're just going to we're just going to talk about this one. Joker has done it. I never thought it would. I was hoping I'd be proven wrong, but apparently Joker has become the first R-rated film to ever make $1 billion in the box office. Right?
I knew this was coming.
I didn't think it actually initially you didn't think it was coming either, because like we both thought that maybe it could get to 900 million once it hit the $800 million mark.
Well, I'm pretty sure I did say that if it hit 900 million, it wouldn't be that far to $1 billion. I had hope.
Yeah, and currently this has become the 42 number. It's in number 42 of the highest grossing films of all time, and it could probably at least get up a little bit more probably, but like yeah, and I never thought an R-rated film would do this. At least I didn't think it would do this now. But this really does say something. This really does like this is a film that is not a family film and is not a big spectacle. Because like when you look at all of the $1 billion films, every single one of them is either a family film or is, a big spectacle. Even Titanic is some kind of a spectacle with visual effects and whatnot. So what is it that really drew people to watch Joker this much? Like a movie that is really just a psychological drama and like has no action scenes, no big spectacle, definitely not family friendly kid stuff. But it's like what do you think is at least one of the contributing factors to Joker making $1 billion?
I have two that I will throw in here. And those are A, the marketing, because Joker had a lot of really, really good marketing. The trailers were super interesting. They were easily accessible by a large group of people, and you can see by the YouTube views alone that a lot of people did watch them. Aside from that, also the controversy that came with it, because the thing about controversy, whether it's good or bad, obviously in this case you could say that it's bad, but ultimately you could also argue that it's good, because I genuinely believe that whether or not they're saying good or bad things about the movie, they're still talking about it, which is going to pique people's interest and either make them check it out and then go watch it, or just make them watch it to see what all the hype's about. Those are the two things that I think gave heavily to the movies, like outside of its quality, because the movie was great. I
Oh yeah,
thought
it
Joker
was.
was fantastic, but you wouldn't know that until you watch it. But those two things alone, I think, helped push it just further and further into people's minds, and got it to this club of movies that have made $1 billion, and then an even more exclusive club that I think it's the only one in, an R-rated movie to make $1 billion.
Yeah, I think those are some very valid points. I think another one that I think is a factor that I did say when this movie crossed 800 million is that uh the Joker is probably one of the biggest selling points in film history. Because every single time they put the Joker in a live action film, like, aside from the 1960s Batman, but that was before comic book superheroes were a really big thing. But, like, every other time they put the Joker in a live action movie, it makes so much money. Like, out of the Burton Schumacher films, 1989's Batman was the highest grossing one out of all those. The Dark Knight made $1 billion, while Batman Begins made like 300 something million dollars. That's a huge gap. And even Suicide Squad, like it or not, like, that movie made well over $700 million, a film that I didn't think would draw that much people towards, considering, no one knows what no one really knew what the Suicide Squad was. I mean, yeah, there were some people who knew what Harley Quinn was, but no one really knew who the Suicide Squad was. But then they slapped the Joker and all the marketing and all the trailers, and I think people were like, oh shit, Joker's in this movie. Well, barely.
No, he's really not.
Yeah, but, he was all over the marketing, and that movie, I think, overperformed and made way more money than I thought it was going to. And now you have this movie, which is just a pure Joker film. Like, it's literally called Joker. I think, along with those 2 points you mentioned, Joker, I feel like, is a way bigger selling point in film than we initially thought. Like, this is a character who, like, you can do so much with this character, really. Like, this is a character where like, there's just so many different kinds of Jokers you can do with it, and I don't know, I think that might be another contributing factor. And considering this is actually, when I'm looking at it, it's the highest grossing film with the Joker in it. Like, it's made more money than The Dark Knight.
Speaking of the Joker, and I'm gonna put this as vaguely as possible to avoid spoiling anything, but you remember that scene where he walks into her apartment?
Yeah.
Okay, so you remember how we had that question of like whether he did the thing or not?
Yeah.
The director confirmed that he didn't.
Ah, all right. I know what you're talking about. I like hearing your point about when we were doing the spoiler review. It kind of makes sense, considering I'm not gonna say it, but
Yeah, no, I understand. We can save it for the after show if you want.
Or maybe just save it for in between and whatnot, like between.
Yeah.
But yeah,
you're right.
Yeah, but I do think that I think those are definitely some contributing factors. The marketing was incredible. The controversy really did show, like, hey, like, regardless of whether or not it was positive word of mouth, like, controversy,
It was word of mouth.
People were
talking about it.
Yeah, I think, sort of like how, and again, I think my point also towards that, I think the Joker is a really big selling point when it comes to film. Because again, the only, like, again, aside from the 1960s Batman movie, which, like I said, wasn't even, like, that was before comics became what they are known for today. But, like, aside from that, every single time they put the Joker in a movie, it makes so much money. And I really do feel like it's one of those characters that I don't know. It's a very marketable character because everyone loves
Oh yeah.
this kind of insanity and whatnot. And there's so many different ways to do this kind of insanity. Regardless, this is an incredible achievement, not only for Joker but really for the comic book movie genre in of itself. Because I think, if I'm not mistaken, based on the budget between its based on the margin between its budget and box office, I think it actually is the most profitable comic book movie on that level. Now, I mean, the most profitable comic book movie in general is still Endgame, but if you're looking at the percentage between its budget and its box office, like Joker had like a budget of somewhere around $55 million, and seeing as how that made $1 billion, like, I think this does show that, you know, there's so many different ways you can do comic book movies. You don't have, I mean, again, don't get me wrong, I love spectacle. Like, Avengers Endgame I thought is phenomenal, and Infinity War, but you can do these different kind of comic book movies, because there's so many different ways you can tell these stories with these characters, and I feel like Joker could lead to that, which is also kind of getting into the other part of the whole Joker thing, and it's that, like, did you hear that it's looking pretty likely that they're going to do Joker 2?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for that.
I honestly don't know how to feel about that, because, like, I know you're saying you really want a Joker movie, at least a Joker 2. I don't know where you go from here, really.
It's not even a Joker 2 that I want. I would like to see some kind of established universe with him as the Joker. It doesn't even necessarily have to be a Joker 2.
Oh,
I'd settle for a Batman movie involving Joker. That would be neat. Joaquin Phoenix's Joker.
I mean, I don't know. Well, for one, I can actually hear myself on the other end of your screen. I mean, well, not screen, but speaker.
Turn down the. There we go. That should fix it. But like, I would want to see some kind of not necessarily cinematic universe, maybe some kind of trilogy, maybe, in which he plays some form or some part in Batman's story. But a sequel would also be okay, I guess, as long as they do it right. I don't really know how they would. I don't see that there is that many directions to really go from the story that was presented in the first film, because I felt that for the most part it did feel pretty self-contained, and all of the loose ends were pretty much tied.
Yeah, I don't even know. Again, but the other thing, I don't think there's going to be a Joker 2, or not really Joker 2, but I mean, like, the whole thing about Batman. I don't think that's going to be the case, because, like, if the Hollywood Reporter is correct, Todd Phillips said that if they are going to do a sequel, Batman's not going to be in it.
Well, I mean, that's fine, but...
And plus, I guess on that level, it kind of makes sense why Batman wouldn't be in there, because, like, the Joker would be, like, in his 60s or 70s or something. Like, he'd be, like, really old and decrepit, but, I mean...
Sure, I mean, but Batman Beyond had an older Joker, and that worked out fine.
Wait. Well, I didn't really watch Batman Beyond, so, yeah.
Well, you missed out.
Rip. Maybe it'll be on HBO Max, who knows. But yeah, guys, what do you think of Joker crossing $1 billion, becoming the first R-rated film to do so? And what do you think of the possibility of a Joker 2? Would you want to see a Joker 2? Again, don't leave spoilers in the comments if you've seen it. Like, don't spoil it for anyone. But let us know your thoughts, and yeah.
Jar Jar Binks was the Joker the whole time. Sorry to spoil it for you.
Dude, no, that's not cool, dude. How dare you? I'm gonna have to internet slap you. Well,
Sorry, bro. I had to do it.
Bastard. But yeah, I don't have a segue for this. Let's talk about the second trailer for Sonic the Hedgehog. I'm a little bit mixed on this whole thing. Not really on the trailer itself, but basically, you know, once that god-awful first trailer came out for Sonic the Hedgehog, they said, hey, we're going to redesign Sonic the Hedgehog. I had a little bit, I have some concerns over that, not because of the design. In fact, I will say the design in this Sonic the Hedgehog trailer.
I'm more concerned about the metric wad of money that they're blowing on it, because, like, you have to think,
what,
like, if they're spending all this money on redesigning Sonic, what does that leave for the rest of the movie and also the marketing?
Well,
I don't know.
they did say that it was relatively cheap. Like they said, it only cost like $5 million to redesign Sonic, but like that's not what I'm concerned over. Now, I will just we'll just give our thoughts on the trailer first, and then I'll raise my concerns. Overall, I did think this was a better trailer. Like I thought this actually was pretty funny. I thought the humor kind of like I thought the redesign matched the humor more, and I do, and I will say, like the one thing I did like about the first Sonic the Hedgehog movie, which I thought was going to be like maybe one of the few good things about this movie, or at least it was going to be like the one saving grace if this movie fell apart, and that's Jim Carrey as Robotnik. Would never have thought that, but my God, he really is delivering on this. And again, this trailer was definitely better than the first one. And again, I'll get into my concerns later on, but and I do like the redesign. But overall, what do you think of this trailer?
I will say that out of all the video game movies that exist, it's looking like it may be the best one that we get, but that's not saying that much. Video game movies have pretty much time and time again just proven to be massive pieces of shit. Um, I enjoy the trailer a lot more than the first one, though. That is for sure, especially because we didn't have that horrific monster staring at us and saying things.
And
But I also really did enjoy the bits that we got to see of Robotnik. I think Jim Carrey's going to do obviously the best that he can, but I think he's really going to do a good job with this role because it sounds like something that's like right up his alley. Other than that, I thought that most of the jokes were pretty good. They got a chuckle out of me, that's for sure. But like I don't know. I just can't tell you if I think it's going to be good or not. I really just don't know at this point. Um, it looks like it has potential. I will say that.
yeah, I will say, yeah, this does look like it has potential. But let me tell you my concern about this. And I know a few months ago, like when we had that really long discussion about random stuff, we did eventually talk about Sonic the Hedgehog, and we both kind of raised a similar concern where it's like, I mean, Sonic, like when they announced that they were going to redesign Sonic, he's probably going to look better, but at the same time, I'm very concerned over the ramifications this will have on the future of Hollywood and the future of filmmaking, because like, and I'm already starting to see that happen, but I'm worried this will lead to like when they sort of caved in to fans' demands, and granted the original design looked like garbage, but I'm worried about the ramifications this could have to where a lot of like where fanboys can just assume that, hey, if Paramount redesigned Sonic because of our demands, that means we can control Hollywood in general if there's something we don't like, especially before the movie comes out. And I'm already kind of starting to see that happen, like with the new Mulan, and where they said that Mushu's not gonna be the Eddie Murphy dragon of the original film. He's gonna be like a more realistic creature, like a phoenix, like a little phoenix, which I think makes sense in this kind of in that kind of a film, considering they're going way more for a Chinese war epic than like a little fantasy comedy thing. And people are saying, I was reading the comments section, and people were like, maybe if we scream at Disney enough, we can get them to change the design for Mushu, just like Paramount did with Sonic. And I'm really starting to feel like we're heading towards a bad point in film fanboyisms.
Well, I don't know about that. It really, at the end of the day, is down to the production house and whoever's making the movie, whether or not they want to redesign it. Like, if you ask me, Paramount is as much to blame as the hordes of fanboys that came in and said, "Oh, Sonic looked bad" for the Sonic redesign, because the fanboys didn't really make them do it. They were just like, "We're not happy with this. Do what you want. It's your movie, but we are going to petition it. We are going to let you know that we don't like it." At the end of the day, whether or not they do something about that is completely up to the company. And whether or not that's a good or bad decision is up to the movie when it comes out. So yeah, it could set a bad precedent, but at the end of the day, it's still very much not people making anybody do anything, because they're not. They're literally writing internet comments. Like, if you're that weak-willed, then don't make movies.
Well,
Um,
again, I would say that, but if it hadn't been for, like, how I describe it, like, I would say that if it hadn't been for, like, how people have reacted to after Sonic was redesigned, they, like, regardless of whether or not the like they actually were listening to the fans about the Sonic redesign, and hold on Sonic director read it, because I remember him. Let's see. Yeah, because here's the thing. Like, yeah, the Sonic the Hedgehog director specifically did say, like, the message is loud and clear, feller. Like, I'm reading this on businessstandard.com or whatever it is. The message is loud and clear. You aren't happy with the design and you want changes? It's going to happen. Everyone at Paramount and Sega are fully committed to making this character the best he can be. Again, whether or not this was because of the fanboy outrage or not, the Paramount and the director are saying that, like, their response to it was saying as if they were responding to fanboy backlash.
completely regardless, it's still their decision to do it. Like, it's not that relevant, because at the end of the day, they're still picking. Yeah, we're gonna freak out about people freaking out and change the thing. You can't really blame that on any one person, except the people that decided, you know what, we're gonna redesign Sonic. It's our thing. We're doing it. It's really our choice.
Well, no, it is their choice. I'm hoping studios in the future will, especially in more serious cases than the Sonic the Hedgehog design, stick to their guns regardless if what they're doing sucks or not. Because,
Well, sure, but what I'm also saying is that this was not an instance of that. I'm Everyone was unhappy with it because the design was pretty bad, and yeah, it's a subjective thing, but
no, I agree
if
though.
most people are telling you, like, hey, it kind of sucks, it would be in your best interest to do something else. Whether or not you do it, again, is up to whoever's in charge of doing these things, which at the end of the day isn't on the fans in any way, shape, or form.
I just don't know. I'm just worried that this is going to set a precedent, and like I said with the whole Mushu thing, I'm already starting to see the fanboys out at it again, and again I'm hoping studios pick their cards wisely when it comes to these kind of decisions. I'm just hoping that they you know,
No,
respond
I see what you're
accordingly.
saying, but at the same time, one instance isn't enough to call it setting a precedent. If we had, I don't know, 2 or 3 movies that went under similar things where they didn't make the smartest decision about designing their character and everyone hated it, and then they just bent the knee and changed it, yeah, I'd say there's a precedent starting to be set. But
Yeah, I'm just saying
this is the one and only time it's like happened, and even then, with the Mushu thing, it's a little bit different, because it's not that they think that Mushu looks terrible because it does look terrible. No, they just aren't happy because Disney is changing one minute detail of a movie that came out over 20 years ago. It's two very different reasons for the outrage. One is way more justified than the other, obviously. So I don't really think anything's gonna happen because of it. But if it does, I would concede to the point that hey, maybe it was dangerous to let them redesign Sonic like that.
again, like I said, I'm not saying this is happening. I'm just saying I'm just concerned that this could happen if this continues on. That's all I'm saying. I'm just concerned.
No. I like I said, your concern is valid. I'm just saying that, like, for me as of now, there's nothing really to worry about, because I don't think that it's gotten to the point where it's like gonna become the norm. I could be wrong. I don't know. I can't tell the future. but I hope I'm not wrong.
I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong. But yeah, like I said, I do think this is overall a, like, you know, regardless of my concerns or whatnot, I do think this is a better design. I do think, you know, Sonic looks a lot better. The comedy does fit, like the design does fit the comedy a lot more. I'm also glad they didn't have Gangsta's Paradise playing. Like that, because that no. Even though I love Gangsta's Paradise, it doesn't belong in Sonic. But
yeah, it's a bop, but there are way better songs that you could have chosen.
yeah, but yeah, guys, what do you think of the new trailer for Sonic the Hedgehog? Do you share my concerns, or do you think, like, you know, like Raphael, we're probably going to see this happen again a couple more times and then be concerned? Let me know down the comments below, and let me know your thoughts. Luckily, this one I'm not concerned over at all. Apparently, you know, there's going to be a new Scooby-Doo movie. This is going to be the if I'm not mistaken, the third theatrically released Scooby-Doo movie. And this one's called Scoob. It has a brand new voice cast, and apparently, the trailer was dropped last week, and I gotta say, I was really delighted by this trailer. I thought, like, even though it was a little bit jarring to not hear Frank Welker as Fred or
Matthew Lillard
as Shaggy. We'll get to Matthew Lillard here in a second. But, like, overall, I did really enjoy this trailer, and yeah, what are your thoughts on it?
Well, I think that the cast is really solid. They have Kiersey Clemons, Zac Efron. I'm pretty sure Will Forte is voicing Shaggy in this one, right?
Yeah.
Or Will Fort.
Gina Rodriguez, I think, is Velma.
Yeah. I did just see that, actually. But I'm pretty excited for it. I think that the art style is really, really good. I thought that the voice work is 100% good. I thought that the guy that Shaggy's voice actor was doing a fantastic job. He sounded exactly like Shaggy and Scooby. And again, the animation, I was thoroughly impressed by, something I really didn't expect coming into this trailer, because I was like, oh, it's going to be animated. I mean, they could either be really good or really, really bad. But I think that they did a very good job with the art direction and everything else. I thought the voice work was phenomenal. It was pretty funny. And I'm definitely going to see it when it comes out.
What?
I said I'm definitely going to see it when it comes out.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested in seeing it too. I mean, even though, granted, we haven't had the best history of Scooby-Doo movies so far.
That's a fact. But I think they've made a few good decisions in this one, like making it animated instead of live action with a ridiculous CGI dog.
I wouldn't mind a live action film, but again, the problem was that it was Roger Gosnell directing it. Probably the worst person you could have.
There's no problem with a live action movie. You just have to do a pretty good job on the CG work for the dog.
Yeah.
So you're not sitting there thinking, there goes this stupid cartoon cartwheeling across the screen doing a bunch of stupid stuff. Oh geez, when is this scene going to be over?
Come on, man. Don't you think the whole CGI with those weird bunny those weird skinny ass bunny creatures in the first movie?
What about Scrappy-Doo? What about
Oh my god. Yeah,
the best movie villain of all time.
Oh yes, I mean, look, I thought the first Scooby-Doo, that the one that came out in 2002, was awful. The second one, I thought the second one was significantly better, but I still didn't think it was very good. But
no, I'll concede to that for sure, because the second one was marginally better than the first one, but it's also not hard to improve on garbage.
Yeah, although I know you and I both agree that the one thing that was pitch perfect in both those movies, and I'm not even saying that ironically, I mean legit, you could not have gotten this any better, was Matthew Lillard as Shaggy.
Oh, dude, yeah, dog, for sure. Like, that's not even a meme. Matthew Lillard, as far as I'm concerned, is Shaggy.
Oh no, he really is Shaggy, because apparently when Casey Kasem retired from the role of Shaggy, he actually, Matthew Lillard became the successor to him as the current voice of Shaggy in all the cartoons and whatnot, which I think is amazing. And
like, zoinks!
oh my god, he got the voice down, he got the look down. Like, I never bought into. I'm not trying to. Freddie Prinze Jr. Can be pretty good in other things, but I never bought him as Fred. Sarah Michelle Gellar as Daphne. I don't know who played Velma, but she was actually pretty good. But Matthew Lillard, even when I was a kid watching this movie, I was like, whoa, like whoever this guy is playing Shaggy. He nails it. I actually thought it was the voice actor who played Shaggy.
I think her name was Linda Cardellini.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Actually, you know what the funny thing is? She actually plays Hawkeye's wife in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and she.
What a meme! I didn't even notice.
And she actually voiced Wendy on Gravity Falls, like the girl that Dipper had a crush on. Yeah, which is so crazy. But I'm glad the cast is doing better with their careers now. But although you did suggest to me like what would be really funny if there was a live action Scooby-Doo movie, like Matthew Lillard would cameo as Shaggy's dad, like a stoner dad or whatever.
That would be I would literally be able to die happy if that ever happened. That would be the funniest thing ever.
Oh my god, yes. And like I said, I do really like this trailer as well. And one thing I really liked about this trailer that I never got in all Scooby-Doo lore was the whole Scooby Snacks thing. Because everyone seems to be so surprised that the mystery gang exists, yet they have this thing called Scooby Snacks. Like what is that supposed to mean? But in this trailer, the snacks weren't named after Scooby. Scooby was named after the snacks. I'm like, that makes perfect sense.
Finally, they've found the piece of the puzzle that's been missing.
They did. They really did. It makes complete sense now. I know it's probably the dumbest thing to be concerned about after all these years as a 21-year-old man who's allowed to drink now, but that's always bugged me. I'm like, why is he named after? Like, why are snacks named after him if everyone seems to not know who they are?
Exactly.
But yeah, and also apparently, they're saying with this film they're going to launch the Hanna-Barbera movie universe or something like that, where I think Tracy Morgan is playing Captain Caveman. Hold on, let me look up this movie. I know a lot of Hanna-Barbera characters are going to be in this movie. What was it Tracy Morgan is Captain Caveman. Kiersey Clemens is Dee Dee Sykes, who is also a character on Captain Caveman. Ken Jeong is playing Dino Mutt. Mark Wahlberg is playing the Blue Falcon, and apparently Jason Isaacs is playing Dick Dastardly, the guy from Wacky Races.
Oh yeah.
And the other weird thing, and it makes perfect sense because remember that big spaceship that appears in this movie when you see the outside of it? Yeah. When you look closely, it the whole design of it looks like a spaceship version of Dick Dastardly's little car from Wacky Races.
That's awesome.
I found that out through Black Nerd Comedy, and I'm like, whoa, that this really is. They really are trying to they really are trying to set up this kind of a universe and whatnot of Hanna-Barbera. I also found out while you were gone taking shits and taking your dog out to go take some shits. Apparently the writer of this movie is also the same writer who did The Edge of 17 and did uncredited rewrites on Bumblebee.
I saw Bumblebee. That one was pretty good.
Yeah, I've heard some really good things about The Edge of 17. And so, it's crazy the amount of talent they have for this movie. But yeah. Any final thoughts on the Scoob trailer?
No, it looks pretty good. I'm definitely gonna check it out once it drops. But I've said my piece.
Me too. Yeah, it was a really cool trailer, and I'm excited for this movie. Now we get to another animated trailer that really surprised me, to be honest. Apparently, if you don't know, there's going to be a third SpongeBob SquarePants movie. Apparently, it was going to be called the SpongeBob movie, It's a Wonderful Sponge, but now it's apparently called the SpongeBob movie, Sponge on the Run. But apparently, once again in this movie, once again Gary's missing, like for the millionth time. But this trailer showed us a really new look for SpongeBob animation wise,
Yep.
and now before I give my thoughts on this trailer, I might want to give people my thoughts on SpongeBob. The first 3 seasons I thought were so funny. I loved the first 3 seasons, and the first movie is like one of my favorite animated films like ever. It's so like it's a comedic masterpiece, and I can quote that movie all day. But after the first movie, which was meant to be the end of SpongeBob, like the end of the series, like Steven Hellenberg left, and ever since then, like the series just kept declining in quality, declining and declining. It didn't go to garbage at first, but it was like a slow, sad decline.
It was a slow burn.
Yeah, to the point where like now the new episodes, I think it's just disgustingly awful.
I can't even watch them, bro. Like I tried the other day, and I was like, dude, what the fuck is this?
It's just garbage. Like man, SpongeBob used to mean something, but like, regardless. But yeah, I love the first movie. The second movie I thought was alright, but weirdly enough, the part that I thought would be the worst part of the movie ended up being my favorite part, which was the live action scenes, weirdly enough.
Yep.
Like, it was fast paced, creative, it was completely new for SpongeBob. And once again, watching this trailer, I don't know what it is, but I have a theory, but the animation in this, like, I'm hooked. This trailer actually really did get me hooked. Before I get on to my theory, like, what do you think of this trailer and SpongeBob and whatnot?
I thought one thing that's kind of funny that I know it's not going to happen, but it said that this film is not yet rated. And what if it's not yet rated because it's going to be rated R?
That's never going to happen. That's never going to happen.
Bro, but what if it did? What if it did?
I would be shocked. Like, I don't know how long they're going to keep doing SpongeBob because there's going to be a new SpongeBob series coming called SpongeBob Camp Coral, or maybe it's just called Camp Coral, which we saw a little bit of in this trailer.
Sure they referenced it but overall, my thoughts on the trailer. No SpongeBob movie since the first one has really lived up to the name of SpongeBob for me.
Yeah.
In the third one, I saw things that I liked. I saw things that I didn't like. I thought that the Keanu Reeves scene was pretty funny. I thought that was really funny, and I hope that the rest of the movie is not similar, but at least is consistent in humor, which is something that I already know isn't going to happen because there were a few jokes, like whenever they were at the casino and he ripped off all of his clothes and stuff that I know they were meant to be funny, but like me personally, I've seen SpongeBob do that like a million times. Like it didn't hit my funny bone that hard. I just hope that it's better than the series and something close to in quality as the first movie, which I think the second movie did okay at. Again, I didn't feel that the second movie was as good as the first. Did I feel that it was as bad as the series was at that point? Maybe in some part, but not consistently enough to where I'd say, the second SpongeBob SquarePants movie isn't a real departure from the series at all. It's not even worth watching. No, because I don't feel that way about that movie. But this one, it's really either going to be the very last SpongeBob movie that I ever watch, or it's going to leave me pretty excited for them possibly doing another one after this based off of the spinoff, the Camp Coral, or more SpongeBob. Who knows? Yeah.
Weirdly, again, I was completely hooked by this trailer, and I think I have a theory. Maybe it's the animation, because
for me it was between that and the music. I'm a huge fan of Motley Crue, and I thought that they used their song pretty well in this trailer. I felt like it added a lot of energy to each scene, which was awesome. But again, there were some parts where I just wasn't really laughing or feeling anything. So I'm just like, oh geez, I hope that's not the whole movie, because that would be pretty bad. But yeah, I do agree that the animation style was very captivating. For sure, because that's the first thing I almost immediately noticed was like, oh, that's a pretty fresh look for SpongeBob. I kind of like it.
Because like the thing that really grabs me about the animation, and it kind of made me rethink, like think of like why hasn't SpongeBob worked for me to before? Because like plot wise, this seems like something that would be in like the newer episodes because it's just doing Gary's missing again, but I think it might. I think one of the biggest issues I might have with SpongeBob nowadays might actually be the animation, because it may seem at first that it's trying to be like the original SpongeBob episodes, but it's like it's trying to imitate it, but it just can't do it. And nowadays it kind of resorts to just making things as disturbing on screen to where it's not even really funny, but it's like just like legit disturbing. Like just look at the episode. Like I don't know if you've ever seen the episode "Funny Faces" or "Face Freeze" or whatever.
Yeah.
That's like that was like one of the worst episodes I've ever seen, because like they're like again it's like they're trying to imitate the weird like disturbing imagery of the first three seasons, even though the imagery was never really disturbing. It was just, I don't know what it was, but considering this is a brand new animation style, again sort of like the live action scenes in the first movie, like it's forcing them to do something completely, like it's not as jarring, like because it's obviously not imitating the original style because it is a completely new style, and maybe the jokes land harder for me with this new animation style, like with the second movie when they went live action. I don't know,
Right.
but I'm really digging this. I'm really fascinated to see where where this goes, and maybe this will actually be the end of SpongeBob. I don't know, because like I said, this movie always seems like it's setting up Camp Coral, and they've already said they're planning on doing a Camp Coral series. So, who knows? Although I'm really wondering if the Keanu Reeves scene was literally like that's pretty much, I'm worried that might be the only Keanu Reeves thing in the entire film, because like I don't know how he'd appear again and again.
Well, if it's anything like the first one with David Hasselhoff,
Oh yeah.
maybe they'll find a way to do it.
Speaking of David Hasselhoff, did you ever see the 20th the SpongeBob episode SpongeBob's Birthday Bash, where it's like the 20th anniversary episode of SpongeBob?
Yep.
Yeah, like once again the animation scenes didn't grab me, whereas like the live action scenes actually made me really laugh, because like seeing the actual SpongeBob voice actors playing their live action counterparts, and seeing that David Hasselhoff is still playing that same lifeguard in this episode as he did in the first movie. I'm honestly pretty excited for this movie. I didn't think I would be, but maybe this could be the final SpongeBob thing. After all, this has been, when this movie comes out, it would have been like 21 years, 21. But like, who knows? But like I said, I really enjoyed this trailer. I'm really enjoying the new animation format, and maybe this might actually help the jokes. I don't know. But yeah, guys, what are your thoughts on the SpongeBob movie Sponge on the Run trailer? And yeah, let me know your thoughts. Speaking of trailers, once again, we're going to another trailer. One of the, other than Sonic the Hedgehog, another design choice that got people very confused and scratching their heads, me included, was the film adaptation of the musical Cats. Now, I didn't think the trailer for the first trailer for Cats was bad. I thought as a trailer it looked like, it was a good trailer, but the thing that really made a lot of people scratch their heads, including me, was that weird design of the cats, which I I'll get more into what I think about the designs here in a bit, but then we have the Cats trailer too, and once again, I don't think this looks like a bad film, but man, these designs are really, really weird. Like what are your thoughts on this?
Honestly, I saw the second trailer and I thought that this has to be again, I don't think that they should redesign the cats. Like, no matter what they do, I genuinely don't think it's gonna work if they want to keep the whole humanoid cat thing. I don't know. I can just tell you for sure that I did not like the either trailer. The whole time I was looking at them, I was like, man, I don't even understand why so many people were complaining about the first Sonic trailer when this existed. because this literally makes that look like a masterpiece. And I do not like the direction that they're going with the design. I don't think the designs are that well executed. You might have some good actors and good voice work behind this, but I'm 100% going to wait for this to come out on some form of streaming or DVD before I go see it. Because there's no way in hell I'm paying $9 to go look at that for an hour and a half.
I mean, here's the thing. Again, I don't think the trailers are. I like the trailers themselves. Again, and even I don't even think this is a CGI issue for me because like I don't think the CGI is bad. It looks well incorporated. It's just the design.
I agree, but it just that's exactly where I was going with that. The design is really what's killing it for me. I can't take it seriously at all by looking at it. Like every time I look at it, the only thing that's making the most noise in my head, other than anything, is the phrase, "What the hell were they thinking with making everything in the movie look like this? Like, why would you do that?"
I mean, just like say what you will about the new Lion King, but at least it's not jarring to look at. Like, at least it's not weird.
Yeah. I mean, like, for the most part.
Because, like, you know, because like everyone was saying, why the animals in the Lion King express more? Well, there's kind of a good reason why they don't, and I think cats is
Animals
kind of
do not express in real life, and here we see what happens when they express too much, and oh boy, is it not good.
Yeah, again, I don't even think the CGI itself is bad. It's really good motion capture work, but it's just the design choice
is
yeah, it's just very bizarre, man. I can hear you breathing into the microphone.
Oh, my bad.
It's like it's like ASMR or some shit, but God, I really hate that. I really hate ASMR.
Thank you. You're welcome.
But yeah, like I will say, like I am probably going to see this movie because, like, you know, I am a big musical guy, and plus this is from director Tom Hooper, the same guy who directed Les Miserables, which I thought was a brilliant musical film. And apparently he also did direct this movie called The King's Speech, which I really want to see. It's on Netflix.
It's really good. I have seen it. It's very good.
So yeah, I don't even think this is going to be a bad film. Again, they're just going to have to really convince me with the design choice of the characters in this film. Like, maybe it's just, for all I know, maybe you know, it looks weird in a 2-minute trailer, and in the film it looks completely natural. Who knows? But
I don't know, man. I mean, it reminded me heavily of the Cheshire Cat from Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland.
I don't know about that, because at least he didn't look human. At least he did.
No. I'm saying just their facial features sort of reminded me of him, not in terms of quality or like actual physical design.
Oh, like, because again, like I could at least understand with the Cheshire Cat why he looks weird, because he's a really weird character. But again, who knows? I'm willing to give this movie the benefit of the doubt, considering the director and his accomplishments. So. But, like, again, I will say the designs are very strange. Again, I don't even think these are bad trailers. I think the way they're cut together and the music is really good. Coming from a guy who's never even seen the Cats musical. But I will try to see this. But, again, here's hoping that the designs look better in the film than they do in the trailer. Who knows? But, yeah, guys, what do you think of the second trailer for Cats? What do you think of the design choices? Do you think this is going to work, considering the director? Let me know your thoughts, and on to our next subject. You know, Raphael, I don't know if you noticed, but racism's been around for a while.
A while, bro.
Yeah.
Since when, dude? I'd never noticed.
Exactly. And, look, in Hollywood, we've made mistakes in Hollywood before. Just like movies like Birth of a Nation, Breakfast at Tiffany's with Mickey Rooney as an Asian man.
Breakfast at Tiffany's, dude.
Yeah.
That's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
Or you know, I don't know. Like, but now apparently there's this movie coming out called Harriet, which is about just sort of like a biopic or something about Harriet Tubman, who was who, you know, she was born a slave, and she, you know, led people around led slaves down the Underground Railroad, saving over 70 slaves and whatnot. And, you know, this is getting some good reviews and whatnot, and I'm hearing some pretty good praises over the actress Cynthia Erivo, but apparently she wasn't the first. She wasn't the first suggestion for the role, because the writer of this movie was actually in an interview, and he like the writer of this film is named Gregory Allen, who I think, if I'm not mistaken, is an African American man. Because he wants he was wanting this story to be told of Harriet Tubman, which I'm surprised this has not happened earlier. But apparently, this movie was in like development hell since like 1994, and there was like a studio executive that Alan approached, and basically he quoted this from his experience. He said, "I was told how one studio head said in the meeting, 'This script is fantastic. Let's get Julia Roberts to play Harriet Tubman,'" Alan explained.
What the fuck?
When someone pointed out that Roberts couldn't play Harriet, couldn't be Harriet, the executive responded, "It was so long ago, no one is going to know the difference." Now,
yeah, dude, of course.
To be clear, this wasn't the studio or whatever. This was one studio head amongst many others, and he was like the only guy who suggested Julia Roberts play Harriet Tubman. I don't know if you know this.
That'll go over so well.
I don't know if you know this, but Julia Roberts isn't black. She's
literally born in Georgia. She's one of the whitest people I can think of.
I mean, she's a great actress, but
yeah, but she's Caucasian.
Yeah. What? Well, I want to know your thoughts on this, considering you probably have more. I don't know. What are your thoughts on the fact that an actual studio executive?
I'm glad that they didn't do it, but the fact that it was A, an idea, and B, the excuse for the idea was it was so long ago, nobody will know the difference. I don't understand how are you so blind? How are you so blind to something so prevalent and something that's such a problem in our country as racial injustices and racism in general, to where you go and say, guys, you know who would be the best actress to play an African American icon who was responsible for a lot of people's families not being slaves anymore? Let's make a white person play them, because nobody's gonna remember that. Nobody, especially not all the African Americans in America, are gonna remember that small detail, and they're totally not gonna be pissed, because I'll tell you right now that they would have been pissed. They would have boycotted the crap.
Oh my god,
I would have boycotted the crap. Any reasonable person would have boycotted the crap out of that movie, because that's just wrong. Like that's wrong on every kind of level that you can think of. A technical level, a philosophical level, a moral level. It's all wrong. It's just
I do agree now, because usually I'm fine with taking historical liberties, because you want to tell a good story. Like, for example,
if it makes sense when you do it, like that's completely different.
Like, for example, the historical inaccuracies of Bohemian Rhapsody, that didn't really bother me, because for one, it's not really a spoiler, because we know that Freddie Mercury had AIDS. He didn't actually have AIDS before he did the Live Aid concert. Like, he found that out afterwards. But within that narrative, it makes sense. It didn't bother me, because it helped the narrative.
Yeah, they were just taking liberties, honestly, and those are the kind of liberties you can take.
But
that's the kind of thing.
But something like Harriet Tubman. And also, this goes to another thing that I'm usually fine with, which is race swapping in movies. Because some people are going to say, "Oh, well, you think this is not okay, and yet you are fine with Ariel being black." These are completely different situations. Because even if Harriet Tubman was a fictional character, the fact that she is African American is completely identifiable with her character. Someone like Ariel from The Little Mermaid is she could be played by anyone.
She could literally be anybody, because it doesn't make a difference. She's a sea creature. She's a literal sea creature. I really don't think that there's going to be that level of nuance and care to where it's literally going to make a difference if she's black, white, Asian, or polka dot, dude.
Yeah, and someone tried to say to me, "Well, I mean, then," because I'm trying to think, like, this is also going towards, like people saying, "Well, if a white guy played Black Panther, like, you'd be all upset." I'm like, "Yeah, we would be upset because,
Nope.
because like,
Robert Downey Jr. played a black man, and as long as they do it right and it's funny as fuck, it's fine.
but again, that's when race swapping works in context. Because, well, technically, he wasn't even playing a black man in Tropic Thunder. Robert Downey Jr.
He was playing a person pretending to be a black person. It made sense. And again, yeah, you know what? I would be pretty mad if they cast Black Panther as a white man because he's from Africa.
He's an African king of an ancient African country of Wakanda. And I don't know if you know this, but yeah, white people live in South Africa. They didn't before. So, like, but, like, these are two completely different scenarios. Harriet Tubman would, like, the fact that she was an African-American slave, that was integral to her as a person. Like, you wouldn't have Harriet Tubman if she wasn't, like, you wouldn't have Harriet Tubman if she was white. And granted, yeah, Julie Roberts is a really good actress, but she can't play Harriet Tubman. Like, she can't play Harriet Tubman because, like, it's like that would completely go everything against who Harriet Tubman is. Again, you can do historical liberties like Bohemian Rhapsody did that, but they didn't change anything that was integral to Freddie Mercury. They changed some things around, but not anything that
they didn't decide to make him magically straight and also American because that wouldn't even be Freddie Mercury.
Yeah, that wouldn't. They, like, again, yeah, they did take creative liberties, like with the whole AIDS thing before being in Live Aid, but that wasn't a core identifying factor to Freddie Mercury. It's just switching a couple of dates around so that it works for the narrative. The fact that Harriet Tubman was African American was everything about Harriet Tubman. So you can't have a white person play that. And the fact that this was 1994, like, I could maybe see this happening in, like, the 1960s, because, again, Breakfast at Tiffany's, but the fact that this was 1994,
and also, like, do say what you want about Breakfast at Tiffany's. I've seen it. I thought it was a pretty good movie. Like, yeah, sure, it's not very racially conscious, but it was 1961. Not literally, the Civil Rights Act had not even passed when that movie came out.
Yeah, you're still there, right?
No, I'm not. I left to go to the moon. Well, I left a AAA battery up there.
Well, shit. But, like, yeah, I completely agree. Again, I'm fine with race swapping in other movies, like, for example, Little Mermaid, because that's not important to the character. I'm fine with changing historical stuff, like in Bohemian Rhapsody, but stuff like this shit's just disgusting, and I'm so.
Yeah, it honestly almost feels like he's just trying to offend as many people as possible. By doing that, the executive that decided, let's just make Harriet Tubman white. Who's even gonna notice? Like, that's just gross.
Like I said, now granted, like, it did not go any further than just that one suggestion. Like, he was the only.
The fact that he had not only a defense for that suggestion, and then decided to make it in the first place without thinking, dude, absolutely nobody would like that. Now that I think about it, it says a lot.
Yeah, no, again, no, I'm not like making excuses for that, but I'm just glad that the studio itself had common sense about this whole thing.
Oh yeah, for sure, because if this would have happened, I guarantee you, dude, they would have made less than $0.
Well, no, it wouldn't have made less than $0, but man, it would be amongst the most infamous examples of race swapping, which I don't even know if you know this. Have you ever heard of this movie called The Conqueror?
The Conqueror. Sounds familiar.
It was the story of Genghis Khan. No, don't look it up. Don't look like I'm going to tell you. It was the story of Genghis Khan, the ancient Mongolian emperor, and you know who they cast to play him?
Who?
John Wayne.
What do you mean, dude?
Yep, John Wayne.
What year is this movie from?
Oh, I don't know. Let me look it up. But I saw it. It was an awful movie, even regardless of...
Dude, it sounds awful. Like, when you've got that big of a mistake just sitting right there, how is it going to be good?
1956.
Jesus Christ.
And it's rated G.
Of course, dude. That sounds disgusting.
Yeah, like now you can look it up on Google Images and just tell me if John Wayne looks at all natural in that setting.
I'm looking at him right now, and that does not look like any form of Genghis Khan that I've ever seen ever.
Oh God! Like, and again,
oh my God!
Yeah, it was an awful, awful film.
Oh my God! No, you want to know something?
What?
I'm pretty sure that this is the same movie that they had to shoot on like an old nuclear test site.
Oh,
and the thing about that nuclear test site is that it was still very radioactive. So a lot of the people that were involved in it, including John Wayne himself, several years later, just kind of died of cancer.
I'm trying. Yeah, yup, you're right about this. I don't know. I'm not sure if it says anything about.
Yeah, parts of the film were shot in Snow Canyon, Warner Valley, Pine Valley Leads, and Harrisburg, Utah. The exterior scenes were shot in St. George, Utah, which is 137 miles downwind of the United States government Nevada's national security site, which is where they tested nukes, and received the brunt of nuclear fallout from testing active in this period. Oh my God. In 1953, 11 above-ground nuclear weapons tests occurred at the site as part of Operation Upshot Knothole. The cast and crew spent many difficult weeks at the site, and producer Howard Hughes later shipped 60 tons of dirt back to Hollywood in order to match the Utah terrain and lend realism to studio reshoots. That's fucking awful! He literally sent radioactive dirt to LA!
What?
Oh my God! 60 tons of dirt! 60 tons of radioactive dirt!
Holy shit.
Oh my God! Dude, Amendaris was diagnosed with kidney cancer in 1960 and killed himself in June 1963 after he learned his condition had become terminal. Hayward, Wayne, and Moorhead all died of cancer in the 70s. Hoyt died of lung cancer in 1991. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Wait.
91 of them. Oh my God.
Wait, I don't know if it said... I don't know if it just says that. Wait, Howard Hughes. Wow, Howard Hughes. Like, it doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't say whether or not it was actually that Utah dirt. It just says 60 tons of dirt. So we don't know if it was actually that dirt. But
if that's where he was in Utah, dude, why wouldn't it be? Why would he literally go to anywhere else when he's right there and he can get all the dirt that he wants?
I don't know. I'm just reading right.
The cast and crew totaled 220 people. By the end of 1980, as ascertained by People magazine, 91 of them had developed some form of cancer, and 46 had died of the disease.
Man, this movie was killer.
Jesus H. Yeah, it was.
Oh my God.
Holy shit, dude, that's terrible. I always knew that was a thing that happened, but I never knew which movie it was. I am shocked. That is shocking. That is very shocking.
Yeah, we ought to see this. Actually, you know what? We really, like, since you're here for Thanksgiving, we ought
Dude, let's watch it, but you gotta buy me some hazmat suits, bro. I don't want to die of radiation exposure.
And then we could also watch Bad Boys 2, which is on Netflix.
Oh, hell yeah. Big bets.
But, yeah, guys, other than this whole...
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Other than the whole thing about the Conqueror and the fact that it killed quite many people because of cancer and radioactive stuff. What do you think of this whole Harriet situation of a studio executive suggesting that Julia Roberts play Harriet Tubman? How does that make you feel? I don't know. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Whew. Well, let's go on to one controversial topic to another controversial topic, which is apparently today they announced that from the Bohemian Rhapsody producer, there's going to be a Michael Jackson biopic. It's been announced that there's been an authorized Michael Jackson biopic coming out. I'm a little bit concerned about this, if I'm going to be honest. And you know why?
Why is that?
No matter what angle you take with this movie, you're going to piss half of everyone off. Because, like, if you... I don't know how you're going to do a Michael Jackson biopic, because if you go the route of the allegations and whatnot, then you're going to piss half of everybody off. But then if you don't address the allegations, you're going to piss the other half of people off. So I don't know what why they would do a Michael Jackson biopic, because like it really feels like no matter what angle they take, there's going to be backlash galore. What do you think of this?
I do agree that there will be backlash. How big it'll be, I do not know. As far as I know, Michael Jackson was never, without a doubt, 100% proven to be a quote unquote molester of children. So with that as a fact, they could easily get away with not putting any mention of that in it at all. But you will make people angry, because there are people that believe that he was a scumbag piece of shit that did molest kids and all the other things that they accused him of doing. I just don't know how they're gonna tackle that. It's a very it's kind of like walking on broken glass. If you make one wrong move, you're gonna cut your foot wide open. And that's really where they are with that question of whether or not they include the allegations or don't.
Yeah,
I really couldn't tell you what the right move is, because I will admit that I do not know a ton about Michael Jackson's personal life. I've never really done my best to look into the allegations to find out for myself whether or not they're true or not. I know he once dangled his very young child blanket over a balcony in Paris.
wait, his name
That
was
that would
actually
that,
Blanket.
yeah, I'm pretty sure it was.
Wait, I thought that was
And
I thought that was just a South Park thing. I gotta look.
no, no, I'm pretty sure his name was Blanket, but yeah, Prince Michael Blanket Jackson II.
What? Wait.
I guess it was kind of a nickname, because for all intents and purposes, I think his name is just Michael Jackson II,
Okay.
followed by Prince.
Yeah, because I know South Park did that, like having Blanket, and I was like, there's no way he actually named his kid Blanket. Oh nope, looks like he did.
Yeah, he changed his nickname from Blanket to Biggie, Bigi. But yeah, at one point his name was Blanket, and yes, I would amount dangling him over a balcony to child abuse. I would say that in
Yeah,
that instance, yes, Michael Jackson was very much guilty of child abuse. Whether or not he molested people, it depends on who you ask. If you ask Brett Barnes, Corey Feldman, Aaron Carter, and Macaulay Culkin, they will tell you that Michael Jackson never molested them. Whether or not that means he molested other kids, I could not tell you. I don't know. But I don't know. I just hope that it is good, because I thoroughly enjoyed Bohemian Rhapsody, and and whether or not they include that stuff. I mean, I'm sure they're gonna have to talk about it, because it was a big part of his life, especially in his later years. But I really won't be that.
what?
Like I said, I I said I really won't be that phased if they include it or not, because like I said, it's not something that I've really done a whole lot of research on. It's not something that I have opinions on. If he did those things, obviously they're terrible, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how you would tackle a Michael Jackson biopic.
No, yeah, dude, it's
You're
like
gonna
like I
piss
said, it's
half
like
of everyone off, no
yeah,
matter
yeah, for
what angle
sure,
you
for
go.
sure. Yeah, 100%. That is the fact.
Yeah, I mean,
It's like crap. The last one that came out was that HBO thing, the
Leaving Neverland.
Leaving Neverland. Yeah, and that pissed a bunch of people off. You had people that were fans of Jackson's, saying, and even his own family, saying that this is something equal to just character assassination, especially now after he's dead. And you could totally take that angle. It's a perfectly reasonable angle to take. But then you had the other people that said, hey, what about the respect and closure for the victims? which if they were victims of sexual assault at the hands of Michael Jackson, yeah, I totally agree. Like you can't just defend him because you like his music and he was famous. You have to be able to separate the art from the artist, because some, as you'll come to find out if you don't, you'll notice that you hate most of the people whose music or art you enjoy, because it turns out, ding ding ding, they're garbage as people and they do a bunch of shitty stuff to people.
I mean, come on, wouldn't you want to see a Jared Fogle biopic?
Bro, my fucking footlong hero.
Oh man, I would almost want to see now. Luckily, that won't be controversial because we know what happened. It's actually been audioed.
Yep. Now he's getting that footlong in prison.
Oh yeah. Man, that would be a crazy biopic if they did a Jared Fogle biopic.
Like, dude, yeah, they could do. If they did do it, I would want the guys that did like the People versus O.J. Simpson, stuff on FX to do it. I love those little series. They're really, really good.
Oh no, I would think Adam Sandler it would be like an Adam Sandler comedy. No, not
Dude,
really.
Yeah, let's put Adam Sandler in it, bro. Because why not?
Boing. Oh, just
sloppy joes.
Sloppy joes. No. Oh, I don't want to think. No, I can't think about this anymore. What do you guys think of the fact of the announcement of a Michael Jackson biopic? Do you think it's a good idea? Do you think it's not a good idea? Are you concerned about it? I don't know. Let me know your thoughts, and let
me know your thoughts on what you guys think about the dollar. The dollar is a very strong thing.
Yes.
And for just $1, you could support us over on Patreon and get your name in the beginning of each of our videos as a certified Patreon supporter.
Yes.
Now, if you move a little bit further up to the $5 tier, you won't get to see your name because you may just have unlocked the audio-only version of the Hannahcast and the ability to get your name in the certified "You are a Patreon supporter" slot at the beginning of every of our videos. For even more, it gets even better. But wait, there is in fact more. You could unlock the super secret $15 Patreon supporter only Hannahcast after show, where we talk about everything and anything. It's a fun time. Come chill with us. Come listen to our ramblings and gain some insights on the world around you from yours truly.
And me.
Yeah.
And it also gets your name in the videos and the Hannahcast audio only version.
These are facts. It's a real bang for your buck.
Yeah, it's not the after show isn't always weekly. I try to make it to be, but we can't always have what we want. But yeah, I don't know. But I was trying to think of a funny joke. I guess I kind of failed at that, didn't I? Oh well.
Nah, it was pretty good. I'd say it landed well.
Yeah. But yeah, guys, that's that's over at the Patreon. Go to patreon.com/ChristianTylerHannah. You can see on the screen right now. We would greatly appreciate all the help you can get, and thank you, Raphael, for taking over that little thing for me.
No sweat, dog.
Dogs don't sweat. That's a thing.
That is true. That's why they do that thing.
Man, I don't want to hear that. I don't need to hear.
More? Encore?
Nope.
You say?
Nope.
All right. Just making sure.
But yeah. On to our next topic. This is pretty interesting. Apparently, earlier this week, it's been announced that there's going to be some. How do I describe it? Like it's been announced that there's going to be. I'm trying to look for the thing right here. That there's. Yeah, I can't find the. I can't find the thing. But regardless, apparently through 2022 and 2023, Disney has apparently set 5 new Marvel release dates from the for those years. Maybe it's continuing Phase 4. I don't think it's Phase 5 because like what we know of from Phase 4, it's pretty limited. But this is really interesting. Like we know that one of those 5 slots is Black Panther 2. Because, like, that's going to be May 6th of 2022. But, this is really interesting. Because, like, I knew, I told you I knew that they were going to do more Marvel, like they were gonna do more Marvel movies. Oh yeah, and I found out like the.
You know what makes a lot?
Sorry, that was a little thing on my end, but apparently those unnamed movies in question are going to be in October 7th of 2022, February 17th of 2023, May 5th of 2023, July 28th on 2023, and November 3rd on 2023. Meaning, Jesus Christ, meaning that in both 2021 and 2023, there will be 4 MCU movies in those years. Good Lord. I'm excited for that, but do you have any, granted, yeah, it's too I'm trying to think, it's too early to say, but do you have any ideas on what this could possibly be? Like, seeing as how we already...
Not really. I'm guessing as hard as you are, but like, yeah, Black Panther 2 is probably going to be one of them, but I really couldn't tell you what the next ones are going to be. I mean, I'm really excited because this is pretty much going to be the new phase, right?
I think I'm only assuming this is going to be phase 4, because like...
Yeah.
Now, again, we know one of them is Black Panther 2. I think my theories right now are Blade. That's going to be another one of them. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, because we know they're going to do that. It's just they're trying to wait for James Gunn to finish the Suicide Squad sequel. Yep. We know that there is going to be a third Ant-Man film, because Peyton Reed has said they were going to do another Ant-Man film. And there's some other possibilities in here, like maybe one possibility could be a Captain Marvel sequel. Another one could probably be, maybe, for all we know, maybe they could introduce Deadpool in the MCU. Who knows? And some other people have suggested maybe another one of them could be Fantastic Four. I don't know, do you think any of those sound legit? I mean, other than we know that, do you think the 5th one could be Deadpool 3 or Captain Marvel 2 or Fantastic Four or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about there being a Fantastic Four slated up for any time soon, but it's possible that we could also get a Captain Marvel sequel. I enjoyed Captain Marvel.
Me too.
I think it was like amazing, but I thought it was pretty good. Especially really dug the effects in Captain Marvel. That's really...
I thought for the most part they were pretty good. Like I did, like especially the transformation scenes with
yeah.
But then there were some other CGI effects, like the fly, like whenever Captain Marvel started flying, like
Yeah.
But
that is a fact.
Well, I don't know about facts, but still. But like even then, like now Kevin Feige did say that eventually Fantastic Four will join the MCU, considering they own Fox now. But like,
I don't think they own Fox, but they do have some kind of deal.
Well, no, like they own the film and television divisions of Fox.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they don't own Fox News or Fox Sports, but they do own the film and television stuff. So anything, like, I'm not saying they will, but anything Fantastic Four or X-Men related, they could do.
I do hope that they hit us with some new Fantastic Four stuff, because I'd like them to give us a fresh new take on the Fantastic Four. In my opinion, it would probably be thus far the only good Fantastic Four movie we've gotten. But again, you just have to wait and see what they do. I mean, if it's not better than any of the ones we've gotten, then obviously it won't be. And X-Men, I'm excited to see that come back too, because I want to see what they're going to do with Wolverine and who they're going to cast for that. Yeah, that would be a very, very interesting thing to see, because in my opinion, Hugh Jackman was, for me, the best Wolverine we've gotten so far. He's also pretty much been the only one.
Yeah, but like he is up there with like Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool and Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark, as to like the quintessential actor superhero partnership.
Like, and crap. Whenever I look at Wolverine or Iron Man / Tony Stark in the comic books, I can't stop comparing them to Hugh Jackman and Robert Downey Jr. respectively, because like for me that's what they look like.
Yeah, and like I think Fantastic Four is probably more likely than X-Men, because like Fantastic Four, you can do that and it's just people getting powers. Yeah, but X-Men, that's like an entire history of mutants that you're going to have to set up, and it's going to be really hard to do that. So I think Fantastic Four will be more likely. Like I said, I do think, like I said, there's 5 release dates. We know one of them is Black Panther 2. I think the others are going to be Blade, which I cannot wait to see, considering Mahershala Ali's going to be playing Blade. We know Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is coming, so I think that, I just don't think they've announced the date for that yet. I think there is going to be a third Ant-Man and the Wasp sequel, because like Peyton Reed has signed up for another Ant-Man film. It's just that final one. I think the three most the 3 most likely ones are Captain Marvel 2, Fantastic Four, or Deadpool 3. It will be hard. It would be really. It's going to be pretty interesting to try to see how they do Deadpool in the MCU, seeing if they are going to keep him R-rated or keep him or do PG-13. I don't know what they will do, but who knows? But I think maybe out of these, maybe Captain Marvel 2 is the most likely. So I think right now, when it comes to these 5 new MCU movies, the most likely ones are Black Panther 2, Blade, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, Ant-Man and the Wasp, and Captain Marvel 2. Although I would like to see if one of those was Fantastic Four, even though like maybe, because like there's like a theory that maybe, you know, Ant-Man 3, like considering there's the quantum realm, maybe that they could do that with the Fantastic Four. Like maybe it'd be like a period piece or whatever in like the 60s. Who knows? But I don't know. But regardless, what do you guys think of this? Like, what do you think these 5 new Marvel movies from 2022 to 2023 will be? Let me know in the comments below with your thoughts, and yeah, we'll on to our next subject. Now we're getting to some streaming service stuff, guys. And apparently this one's involving Netflix, where apparently Nickelodeon and Netflix have made a deal to produce some new TV series and movies for Netflix based on, you know, it could be original stuff and also properties from previous Nickelodeon stuff. What do you think of it? And apparently this news came out the day after Disney Plus launched. So what are your thoughts on this, Raphael?
Not a lot to add. I'm pretty excited to see what they're going to bring to the table. And I mean, there's no real way to tell until they really announce this stuff, but I feel that it's likely that we're going to probably see some stuff about Black Panther 2, maybe even the Captain Marvel sequel.
Wait, what? I don't know if you heard the topic. I was talking about like Nickelodeon and Netflix making a deal to produce.
Oh, no, you must have cut out for me. I only heard, what do you think about this, Raph? That's weird.
Oh, well, that is so strange. But yeah, like I said, Nickelodeon and Netflix have made a deal to produce new TV shows and movies based on original Nickelodeon, like original stuff, or also Nickelodeon stuff from the past and whatnot, like characters and whatnot. Considering we got Rocko's Modern Life, Static Cling, and the Invader Zim movie. What are your thoughts on?
Maybe we'll get some Ren and Stimpy stuff too. That'd be neat.
Oh, I don't know if it'll be Ren and Stimpy as we knew it. Like,
yeah, that's true. That's true.
Sort of like with the whole invasion.
I did really vibe with the Rocco's sort of ending to the series that we got. I think that they're going to do some really good stuff with it. Whether or not it'll be like enough to catch them up to like say Disney Plus, I don't know. But it definitely will help, that's for sure. I love Nickelodeon's old material to death. Like, it's some of my favorite stuff that was on TV ever. But I just hope they do some fun stuff with it.
Like, we're already starting to see, like, if you look on Netflix, we're actually starting to get some Nickelodeon stuff on Netflix. Like, I can hear your breathing. like, for example, we're already, like, if you go onto Netflix, you can actually find, like, A Fairly Odd Summer, Victoria, Sam and Cat, Bella and the Bulldogs, I think, and
I think Drake and Josh is on there too.
Oh no, it's not. It's on Hulu, but it's not on
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised if maybe in the next couple years, maybe I have a theory that since, you know, if Nickelodeon and Netflix are making this deal, maybe this means we could see most of the Nickelodeon library come onto Netflix, which would be a very big draw considering, even though, I mean, granted, let's face it, Netflix is still top dog in the world of streaming. Like, even Disney Plus can't compete right now. They know that Netflix knows they could be in trouble in the future, so maybe they could try to get all the Nickelodeon stuff onto Netflix, which I would really like because I do agree. Nickelodeon has made some really cool stuff in the past. Invader Zim was one of my favorite animated shows and whatnot. Love the first 3 seasons of SpongeBob. And if they can make Netflix the home for Nickelodeon and do some other cool stuff with TV series and movies, that would be cool. Which actually makes me wonder, maybe this could be the home for Camp Coral, that SpongeBob thing. I mean, maybe. I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, cool. But and if they do put all the Nickelodeon stuff onto Netflix, I have a question. Do you think they'll put Little Bill on there?
I don't know. Little Bill was a very wholesome show created by a very unwholesome person. So again, I think at that point it's just a question of separating the artist from the art, but it's really hard to do it at that point, like knowing what Bill Cosby has done and would continue to do were he not in jail.
Yeah, apparently.
And go ahead.
Apparently, you can actually buy the entire of course digitally, but you can actually buy the entire episodes seasons of Little Bill on Amazon.
Well, I mean, again, it's a whole question of separating the art from the artist. That show, at least for a lot of people who grew up around the same time I did, meant a lot, and they learned a lot from it. What he did or didn't do really had very little impact on the show, in my opinion. But again, it will raise some questions, and it will be slightly controversial for you to suddenly pick up and platform somebody like Bill Cosby.
Yeah, I mean, the whole Little Bill thing was a joke, really, but I mean, I
don't think we'll be seeing it anytime soon. TBH.
No, yeah, I'm pretty sure Nickelodeon doesn't. I'm pretty sure Nickelodeon wants to distance themselves away from Bill Cosby as much as they can.
Everybody who is of sound mind would want the same thing. He is a very controversial person to have on your roster, mainly because he's a rapist, but that's beyond the point.
Quaaludes!
Quaaludes and Puddin' Pops!
Man, I've heard, that's probably the worst Bill Cosby impression I've ever heard in my life. Well, I mean, granted, I probably do even worse. I'm like, Puddin' Pops! What? I don't know.
Yeah, dude, that was pretty bad.
Yeah. But, yeah, I'm interested to see where Netflix and Nickelodeon go with this deal. Again, if Netflix can become the home of Nickelodeon in general, that would be cool, considering right now, Nickelodeon is kind of thrown around between Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, Verve. It would be cool to see Nickelodeon just go entirely towards Netflix. I would like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, guys, what do you think of this deal? Let me know in the comments below, and let me know your thoughts. And now we come to the part of the podcast I've been excited for the most, which is finally, after months of anticipation, Disney Plus has launched, and I've been really excited for this thing because the content and the new stuff that was coming, and I'm actually. And as I told you earlier before we started the podcast, I literally bought a Roku streaming stick just so that I could watch Disney Plus on my TV, which this can also stream Hulu and whatnot. What are your initial thoughts on this as I pull it up on my TV?
Of Disney Plus?
Yep.
I think it's incredible. I will say that at first it had pretty terrible accessibility because I guess they just really didn't count on all the millions of people just hitting the buy button and saying, give me that fat Disney Plus subscription, because I originally was traveling when Disney Plus came out, so it was my plan to download the first episode of The Mandalorian. Wasn't able to do it no matter how much Wi-Fi my phone had. And I wasn't even able to watch it until almost a whole day later. But after all that got ironed out, man, let me tell you, it is such a worthwhile investment. At only $6.99 a month, I was literally amazed with the metric ton of content that they offer. The only thing I'm really disappointed about are Star Wars episodes 4, 5, and 6. because they've made just more shitty edits to them for God knows why. Well, I know why. It's probably because George Lucas.
I didn't notice any. Granted, I've only seen the Empire.
No, they did change episode 4.
I know there was a whole malarkey thing, but I know the whole.
Nope, yep, and that was it, and it was pretty awful.
I don't know. For me, it was like I was really more it was more like a brief amount of confusion. I was like, wait, what? Like,
okay,
I don't know what.
But imagine watching the movie without that, where you can preserve the original intent of the scene and not make some nonsensical edit that has never looked good since it was implemented. And honestly, the whole argument is, well, I don't want Solo to be just some cold-blooded killer. Okay, dude, what about the part where Obi-Wan literally cut down 2 dudes in the bar just for threatening to beat Luke up? That doesn't make him just some cold-blooded killer, because fun fact, it would. No, it just doesn't make sense no matter how you do it.
I mean, yeah. I mean, look. Here's the thing. Like. But that's really just a whole thing of Greedo shooting the first thing, which I think it's dumb. But like, I mean, really, that whole scene was there to begin with. It's just the whole malarkey or whatever it was. It's just.
No, they did change it again, because now they shoot at the same time. And originally, the very first edit to that scene was Greedo shooting first, and then Han Solo doing a very awkward neck shift that would have easily broken every single vertebra in his neck to dodge the blaster bolt, which just doesn't make any sense. Them shooting at the same time isn't any better, because they still include that same edit that was in effect the very first edit. And what really gets me about it is that for a lot of people, including kids, this is going to be their very first exposure to these movies. Why not run just the theatrical release that
I know exactly
have access to? I know why. It's because of George Lucas.
Yeah.
But I just don't understand why he's doing this.
Yeah, I really just cannot blame Disney on this, because like, trust me, if they could show the theatrical editions, they would. They know how much people have been begging for the original Star Wars trilogy, and if they could, they would have released this long ago. So this is clearly George Lucas's doing, but again, I can't really say it's a fault on Disney Plus itself, because it's just like just some weird thing. But apparently, I will say, when it comes to the Star Wars trilogy, and hell, all the Star Wars movies in general, they never announced this, but apparently they remastered all of them to 4K, which is so fascinating, because like, they never said that they would do that. But again, you can still hear me, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. And yeah, back to the whole Disney Plus thing. Like, I was initially experienced, like, here's the weird thing. I was going to wake up at 5 a.m. because I knew that, like, actually no, I was going to wake up at 6 a.m. Actually no, wait, I was going to wake up at 5 a.m. because I assumed that it was going to launch at 6 a.m. because, that's when the clock would run out in the East Coast, and when it would launch. But it turns out it actually launched like 3 hours before they said it would, and so I was tossing and turning in my bed. I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna be able to download it, but I might as well just see if the Disney Plus app is available on my phone. I was like, and then I opened it. I was like, wait, what? It is? I was like, huh? And then I got on my computer, and I was like, holy shit, Disney Plus is actually available. And so, like, then, from 4:45 a.m. I would, like, and this is on a day I was going to be heading to work, and I didn't call off work, but I pretty much lost quite a bit of sleep due to me watching some Disney Plus. And yep. I will say, I'm on the Roku app right now on my TV, and I do agree, this is a really great service. Like, of course, for one, the home screen's really nice. You get to have, there's like little buttons. One of them is, there's 5 content hubs. One of them is Disney. There's Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars, National Geographic. When you hover over the Disney one, it's like the cool Disney World thing with the fireworks. When you go to Pixar, it's the little clouds from Toy Story. Marvel, it's the opening Marvel logo. That's cool. And when you go to Star Wars, it's the, cool space stuff. And then, of course, there's National Geographic, where you get to see some nice clouds and a mountain. And again, one thing I love about Disney Plus is how it's so organized. Because, like, one thing I don't like about Netflix is that you can't find shit on Netflix. It's so...
Oh, yeah, unless you already just know what you're looking for and you search for it.
But it's just like, you can't just browse, you can't see what's around and whatnot. Whereas with Disney Plus, you know, you can, hell, like, I'm gonna go in the movie section right here. Like, there's literally a section where you can just look at movies, and you can look at all movies A to Z, even though it's not quite A to Z. So that is one issue I have. You just go to that, and you can find every movie that's currently on Disney Plus right now. And even with some movies that aren't on Disney Plus, like, let's say Avengers Infinity War, you click on Avengers Infinity War, well, you can't stream that right now, but it does say when you can stream it. Like, for example, Avengers Infinity War is coming June 25th, 2020. So even with movies that they don't have right now, you'll find the little things on there when you look at all the movies A to Z, and, you know, it'll tell you when they're going to be on there, and I feel like that's really helpful. Now, there's some movies that are sadly not on there, that aren't going to be on there for quite a while. Like, for example, one of the movies that apparently that will be available in 4K is Jon Favreau's reimagining of The Jungle Book. But sadly, I'm trying to look for it right now. Sadly, though, The Jungle Book won't be available until... I'm trying to go down here. Yeah, like, The Jungle Book won't be available to stream on Disney Plus until, what was it? It's May 30th of 2021, and I'm sad. That does make me a little bit sad. But, you know, you can do the same thing with series. You can look at, you know, TV series and, look at it all A to Z, or hell, with movies, you can look at all the ones that are available in 4K, which I'm shocked as to the amount of movies are in 4K that they brought in 4K. Like, almost all the Pixar movies, almost all the Marvel movies, the Star Wars movies, and probably the probably the one that I'm surprised they even bothered putting in 4K is, you know what it is?
What?
The Santa Claus trilogy starring Tim Allen.
Oh boy.
They put that in 4K. I mean, I haven't seen those movies. I've seen the Santa Claus 3, The Escape Clause, but like I haven't seen the other Santa Claus movies. I do know that me and my sister love to make fun of the trailer for the second Santa Claus movie. I don't know if you've seen the trailer for that, but it's...
I haven't. I've seen the first one, and it's not terrible. I'd say that the movies don't really start to get bad until like the second one. The second one's pretty bad. So is the third one. and it just goes downhill. They made the first one, and then they made the second one, and I don't know, the difference in quality between 2 and 3 is just so big. Like, 3 is just terrible. I'm really, really glad that, like, they didn't make a fourth one.
I'm very indifferent that they made if they were to make a fourth one or not. I don't know, but if whenever we do hang out, I gotta show you. I might have you do a reaction video to the Santa Claus 2 trailer, because it is all kinds of bad and all kinds of stupid. But it's like, yeah, and apparently, you know, we even now know what's good. Like, when you we now also know what will be on Disney Plus. Like, you know. Like for the most part of the movies and whatnot that will be available, like, well, I'm trying to think, like, I have the papers right here, like they did say which movies, you know, aren't available right now but will be available, but like, for example, you know, I'm looking at what the Streamable put out, where it's, you know, it's everything, like, for example, next month, December, for Disney Plus, apparently we're going to be getting the entirety of, I'm guessing, seasons 1 through 4 of Star vs. the Forces of Evil, Lion Guard season 3, the first Garfield, which we have, like, Disney Plus does have the
second
Garfield film, and the sweet lords over at Disney are giving us the privilege of watching the first glorious Garfield movie.
Oh boy.
Yeah, isn't it great?
You ever seen Zombieland?
No, but I do know the joke you're talking about.
Oh, Garfield, maybe.
Oh my god, yeah, man.
You need to watch that movie, bro. It's really good.
Yeah, fun fact, do you know why Bill Murray signed up for Garfield?
Why?
Because it was being directed by this guy named Joel Cohen, but not the one of the Coen brothers. It was another guy who was like one of the writers for Toy Story, but it's just his name is his last name.
Oh my
his last name is spelled a little bit.
Prank.
His last name is spelled a little bit differently than the Coen brothers, Joel Cohen. And apparently when Bill Murray signed up to do Garfield, he thought it was being done by one of the Coen brothers.
So let me guess. This other Joe Cohen spells it Cohen.
No.
And
hold on.
Yes, he does. Cohen, and Joel Cohen is Coen. Holy shit, that is great.
Yeah. Yeah, that's. Oh wait, no, it's not.
Beautiful.
Oh wait, it's not. Oh wait, he didn't direct that movie. He didn't direct it. It was. Oh no, yeah, he was one of the writers. Yeah, he was one of the writers. Which, how do you go from Toy Story to Garfield? I don't know. Then again,
I don't know, but he was also involved with Garfield: The Tale of Two Kitties,
which is on Disney Plus right now. You can find Garfield: A Tale of Two Kitties, but like, yeah.
I don't remember liking either of those movies that much.
I only saw the first one. I do know
I've seen them both, and I just remember being very unhappy with watching either of them.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised, but like, I'm trying to think. Like, yeah, apparently on December 5th, Thor Ragnarok is going to be available on Disney Plus, which means you'll be able to complete the Thor trilogy. December 11th, we're going to be getting Alice Through the Looking Glass, which I know you love.
No, I don't. I really think it's one of the worst sequels of all time, and you know that.
I haven't seen the movie, so I can't say. But like,
well, I'm saying you know that I think that.
I mean, you never told me it was. You never told me you thought it was one of the worst sequels ever made. That's a pretty high bar, considering we live in a world with like, with a bunch of Twilight sequels, 50 Shades of Grey sequels.
Okay, well the difference is that I haven't seen any of the Twilight or 50 Shades sequels because I don't subject myself to garbage on purpose.
Oh, you know I'm going to have to make you do now.
Oh, please don't, Christian. I've spent 20 years on this earth. In all of those 20 years, I haven't seen either of the sequels to any of those movies, and I don't want
to. Who knows? Speaking of sequels, we also have George of the Jungle 2 coming out in December 20th. Not George of the Jungle 1. That's coming next year, but...
It's kind of weird.
Again, it's different. Is
there any reason as to why? Is it just like
networks,
streaming rights?
Networks, yeah. Some of these movies are on different networks, but
yeah, that makes sense.
You know, with for example, with the Marvel movies, like I'm looking at right now, the Marvel movies we're missing right now are Thor Ragnarok, Black Panther, Avengers: Infinity War, and Ant-Man and the Wasp. Those are currently on Netflix, but once they are off of like Thor Ragnarok is going to be available on Disney Plus December 5th of this year. Black Panther will be available March 4th of 2020. Avengers Infinity War is available on June 25th, 2020. And Ant-Man and the Wasp is available July 29th, 2020. Now, again, if anybody's confused as to why the Incredible Hulk and the two Spider-Man movies aren't going to be on there, well, Universal owns the Incredible Hulk and Sony owns Homecoming and Far From Home. So... that's why. And with Star Wars, we're currently missing The Last Jedi and Solo, but Last Jedi will be available December 26th, and Solo will be available on July 9th. And there's sadly some other Disney movies we're missing. Like, for example, the Jim Carrey remake of A Christmas Carol is not going to be available until November 6th of next year. I love that. I love that movie. It's so good. But, let's see. The biggest, probably one of, if not the biggest box office bomb of all time, Mars Needs Moms, will be available, oddly enough, April 1st of next year. On April Fool's Day. That's funny.
Yep.
Alright, well that didn't work. But anyways, so far, I am very, very impressed with Disney Plus. I'm excited for a lot of the new stuff, for a lot of the other content that's coming, especially, not just from the library, but also new episodes of The Mandalorian, which we're going to be talking about here in a bit, and The World According to Jeff Goldblum, and Lion Guard season 3 is coming, Star vs. the Forces of Evil is coming. It's just, I am overall very, very satisfied with Disney Plus. I forgot to mention this. What profile character did you? What character did you set your profile picture to?
The Mandalorian.
Oh, I set mine to Thanos. Yeah, Thanos.
Big purple man. Thanos car.
Oh boy, yes. Sadly, you can't. You don't. Sadly, it doesn't show his butt. Where you don't know if Ant-Man's going up there, but who knows? But yeah. And do you have any final thoughts on at least the interface and just overall using Disney Plus?
No, not really. It's been pretty easy to use, and the interface has been. It works really great because I can find new things if I want to search for new things, and I don't have to sift through like millions of titles and stuff. So.
Yeah, I agree. I am very much satisfied with what we're getting on Disney Plus right now. So yeah, guys, if you have Disney Plus, what are your thoughts on how this is working out? Again, I think this is definitely worth your money. I think this is fantastic. I've already ordered a year of Disney Plus for $70. So, and I'm very much sure I'm going to get my money's worth because I think this is really good. Now we get to talk about some of the content that's on Disney Plus. We're not going to be I don't think we're going to be doing like weekly discussions on each of these episodes, but like we'll probably, maybe when the seasons are over, we'll talk about them. But I just want to talk about our first impressions over a couple of shows going on. And the first one I want to talk about is The Mandalorian, the new Star Wars show, the very first live-action Star Wars series, being showrun by Jon Favreau and having directors like Gary Fukuiwa or whatever his name is. Like he's the guy who did, he's the guy who did Dope. Dave Filoni's directing an episode or two. Deborah Chow just directed the newest episode, and she's going to be directing all of the Obi-Wan episodes when it comes out. Before I give my thoughts, what are your thoughts on The Mandalorian so far?
Well, I haven't seen the third episode yet because I'm going to watch it when my girlfriend gets here tonight with her.
Okay. No spoilers.
So far, the first two episodes that I have seen, I was completely floored and amazed by the series. It, for me, has been a piece of media that feels more like Star Wars than anything we've gotten since maybe Rogue One, in my honest opinion. I was very satisfied with everything from the sound design to the story itself to the character design to everything. It all just felt amazing in Star Wars, and that's really what I wanted out of it. So I would say that my expectations were met and then some. Pedro Pascal does a fantastic job voicing the Mandalorian. I'm really excited to learn more about him because they've set it up in such a way where they don't really tell us a lot about him, but they sort of feed in bits and pieces of his history and things about him, like slowly but surely, like slow enough to where you're left wanting more, but surely enough to where it doesn't feel like you're just being dragged on some sort of pointless ride. I really can't say anything about the third episode because I haven't seen it, but the first two episodes really I thoroughly enjoyed.
Yeah, I did enjoy the first episode of The Mandalorian. I wasn't completely blown away by it, but I expected it because it's just trying to get us used to to this new Star Wars universe and what kind of style it's going to be. But episode 2 was when things knocked me out. I was like, oh my god, this is awesome. But yeah, I am really enjoying The Mandalorian so far. Like this series, like there's some great, like not only is there some great dialogue, but man, the visual storytelling is really cool too. Yes. Like there's not
and the effects are very, very, very good.
Oh,
especially for like a TV show. Like anytime you get to watch him do stuff with his ship, it looks so beautiful.
Yeah, especially when you see some creatures. Like those creatures look, especially.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was about to say, especially that one creature in like the beginning of the first episode.
Yeah, I was literally about to talk about that exact same thing.
That thing freaked me out. I was like, "What in the world is that?" Like,
and then all the dudes that were sitting in the bar too. Like the creature design is just they've stuck to it. It looks very consistent. They all look very as realistic as they can look. I would say.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the action is also very, very good. Like when he's doing that thing with the droid, and they're doing all that stuff and blasting, bro. It was awesome.
Yeah, that was really cool. And actually, that one robot and whatnot from the first episode of The Mandalorian, you know who voices him?
Who?
Taika Waititi.
I did not know that.
Yeah, and he's actually.
I was also really excited to see that because that robot was first introduced in Star Wars Legends, I'm pretty sure, which is like the non-canon part of the lore, with all the books and comics and games and stuff. And now he canon.
Yeah, and well, not only that, but I think you actually see that robot a little bit in Empire Strikes Back.
Yep.
Like he's in the background and whatnot. Actually, technically, this is a different model of that character, but it's still the same basic design,
same platform.
But yeah, this show is turning out to be really, really good, and I can't wait to talk to you about this one creature that I noticed in around episode 2.
Are you talking about the big one?
The hairy one.
Suka.
I can't wait to talk about that because something about that felt very familiar to me, and I'm really glad that it does. But yeah, overall, I'm really looking forward to The Mandalorian. I'm looking forward to the next episode of The Mandalorian. Like, this is a really cool show. I'm glad they're showing it week by week because it just gives me something exciting to look forward to every week.
Yeah. I got kind of pranked because with how fast the second episode came out, I thought, oh, they're just going to be doing it every day. But,
No, they just wanted to have the first episode for day one and have an episode for Friday, but they're going to be on Fridays for the most part. Yeah. Except for, I think, one of them is going to be on like a Wednesday or a Thursday or something. I don't know exactly for the reason. Oh, yeah, I think one of them is going to be on Wednesday because of Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. They kind of don't want... Yeah, they don't really want people to get too distracted. But overall, like I said, I'm really enjoying this series. I really like it, and it does have really great production value. The visual storytelling is really good, and I can't wait to review this series once the season 1 has concluded. And do you have any final thoughts?
Not really. I'm really excited to watch episode 3 tonight, and I have really been enjoying the series so far.
Yeah, we have spoken.
We have spoken.
Yeah. So, yeah. And moving on to another series I was excited for on Disney Plus. On the National Geographic side, there's this one series called The World According to Jeff Goldblum. I've also seen the 3rd episode today. I've seen of course, yeah, I've been watching the series. Just from the title of this, I was like, oh my god, what is this going to be like? This sounds awesome. And I gotta say, I wasn't disappointed with The World According to Jeff Goldblum. Now, if you don't know what The World According to Jeff Goldblum is, Jeff Goldblum in this series, it's a reality series on the National Geographic side where he kind of just goes around the country or the world doing things and just gives his weird Jeff Goldblum-y thoughts on them. And, yeah, I don't really know what else you can ask from something like this. It's just, I think it's just amazing. But, what do you think of The World According to Jeff Goldblum so far?
I loved it. It was really, really funny, and I'm kind of biased. I really like Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah.
But I was very satisfied with the show. I downloaded the first 2 episodes and watched them on my flight home, and I was fairly entertained. Didn't even fall asleep on the plane, which I thought I was going to. But yeah, I think that The World According to Jeff Goldblum is a really, really good series, and I'm excited to see more of it.
Oh, you are. It's so funny. I'm really, really enjoying The World According to Jeff Goldblum. Like, again, it's just so strange. Like, he just has these weird quirks. Like, I love his reaction to a certain graveyard in episode 2, which I thought was so funny, and his reactions to them were just so Jeff Goldblum-y. Like, I was almost worried that it was going to get tiring after a while, but nope. He always finds a way to really make it consistently entertaining throughout the entire thing. But yeah, I'm really enjoying The World According to Jeff Goldblum. I know that there's going to be another episode involving swimming or pools or something like that, and I'm really wanting to know what that's all about. But yeah, I guess we don't have anything much to say about The World According to Jeff Goldblum, other than I'm really enjoying the show. I think it's really funny. I think you do learn a little bit. It's very fun. But really, if you're watching the show, you're watching it because of Jeff Goldblum. You want to watch Jeff Goldblum do weird things, or at least things that are fun, or at least normal things that he somehow makes weird, but it's in like an endearing way. So yeah, any final thoughts on the world according to Jeff Goldblum so far?
No, you pretty much captured my thoughts on it too.
Yeah, so there's that. And our final topic of this podcast right now is a Disney Plus original movie that was available to stream on launch. Now I'm not talking about Noel right now because that's a Christmas movie and I want to save that for actual December because if you watch Christmas movies when it's not Christmas, that's a sin. Wait until marriage. But no, this one is the new Lady and the Tramp. I was interested in this one because, for the most part, I'm a fan of the Disney remakes. Well, I would have said all of them if it hadn't been for the fact that I saw Dumbo. Yeah, didn't I will anyone who debates me on Disney remakes, I will give them Dumbo. I really did not like Dumbo. But regardless, I did see Lady and the Tramp, and I gotta say, I thought it was adorable. I thought it was a very sweet, wholesome movie. I mean, like, one thing, like, I'm trying to think, like, sometimes the CGI isn't quite up to par, but for the most part it is. And I thought it was, very charming, very entertaining. It's really a really kind of relaxing movie to watch. And luckily they changed some things that you really don't want in a Lady and the Tramp movie nowadays, regarding cats. Luckily they found a way to change that. Like, I thought the voice work was really good, and another thing I really liked about it was that how do I describe it? Like, I'm trying to think of a way to describe it, but I kind of forgot how to describe it. But it's like, it is a very sweet, wholesome movie. Now I know it is. I am also really glad they didn't resort to a bunch of poop jokes or fart jokes or whatever like Raja Gosnell would do in his dog movies, like fucking, I don't know, Scooby Doo or what was it called, Show Dogs that came out last year. No,
Oh, God.
yeah. Luckily, Lady and the Tramp doesn't resort to any of that garbage. It just wants to tell a nice story the family can enjoy, and adults can get something out of it too. I think it's it really is a sweet movie that's meant to be wholesome and nice, and it doesn't resort to any of the stupid kid stuff you'll see in some of the lesser kids films. What are your thoughts on Lady and the Tramp?
I thought it was boringly mediocre.
Oh,
Not to say that it was bad. It's just I didn't really see too much. I don't think they changed really enough between that and the Lady and the Tramp that we already have. Like, I'm really indifferent about either movie. Like, the first Lady and the Tramp movie I thought was pretty good. It was an animated dog movie. It was okay. I just didn't feel that they really departed enough from it or really did that many interesting things in this one to separate it that much from the first Lady and the Tramp movie. Yeah, it was cute for the most part, but that's really all I can think to say about it. But other than that, it was honestly the only part of Disney Plus that I viewed aside from the original trilogy that I was really not blown away by, I guess would be the phrase to use. But yeah, other than that, I mean, I guess it was okay.
I mean, I will say when it comes to the Star Wars original trilogy, like, I actually watched Empire Strikes Back a couple days ago. I think even initially, out of all the original Star Wars trilogy, Empire Strikes Back luckily got the least amount of bad.
No, that's a fact. And Empire Strikes Back is easily one of my favorite science fiction movies. It'd be probably between that and Blade Runner. But I do genuinely think that is the best Star Wars movie of all time. And I don't know. I mean, you'd have to go pretty crazy with the edits, which luckily they didn't, to ruin it.
Yeah, like luckily out of all the edits, like most of really any of the edits that we like, at least in the current version that we have, I'm perfectly fine with the edits. Like for example, the Wampa in the cave, like seeing him, like I actually like that because like we get to see more of it, and it doesn't look stupid. Whenever they're out, like changing the halls of the Cloud City to being where they're outside, that was a nice change, but. Overall, I feel like Empire Strikes Back just from the beginning always had like the least amount of edits, and even the edits that they did make weren't really that bad to begin with. But yeah, I will say, like I said, when it comes to Lady and the Tramp, I haven't seen the original, but just watching this one, I really did enjoy it. Again, like I'm just, like it was a very it really is a likable film, and I thought the
I definitely think you should check out the original one if you enjoyed this one, because I'd say it's definitely better.
I mean it could be better. I don't know. I'm just also really glad that this one didn't have the Siamese cats in it, sort of.
It's another one of those things. Just hasn't aged well. The Lady and the Tramp was made in 1955.
Yeah, it doesn't quite make it right. But like,
I am not arguing for whether it's right or not. It happened. Telling you why it happened. It was 1955. Civil rights really weren't even much of an idea.
Yeah, I'm just. Again, I gotta put. If I'm just being fair. I'm just glad that this one didn't have Siamese cats, and
yeah, obviously it's
that's
not
one
gonna
less
have
issue.
2019.
But yeah, like again, I will at some point I'm gonna try to watch the original. But regardless of what I think of what I'm going to end up thinking of the original, I still think this one. I thought this one was really enjoyable. I'm not saying that I would regardless, because like I don't know what categories I would put this in for. Maybe voice acting, but like I wouldn't put this in the Nerdy Movie Awards or whatever, or any of the lists of the year, or any of the lists. What?
It's because it didn't get a theatrical release, right?
Yeah, it's just straight to Disney Plus, so I can't say it's eligible for anything like that. But again, like I feel like this is, I thought this was a very enjoyable film, and luckily it doesn't try to resort to any really stupid, fart joke humor, like anything stupid like that. For me, it's no Lion King remake, but it's definitely not the Dumbo remake. So yeah, I think that about wraps it up for this episode of the Hannahcast. I didn't expect.
Yeah, don't forget, boys. Head on over to Patreon. Send us $1 for a name in the video. Send us $5 to get the audio only version of the Hannahcast, and also your name in the videos, which you sadly won't be able to see with the audio only, but I think you and I both understand why that works that way.
Yeah.
And then for our big boy tier, the $15 gets you access to the Hannahcast after show, where you can come chill with us and listen to us ramble on about absolutely anything. You want to hear us talk about how Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself? Come down there. We'll tell you about it. We'll tell you all about it.
Yeah, guys. So that pretty much wraps up for the Hannahcast. Good God, this has like been going on for like almost
2 hours.
Almost 2 hours. Yeah. Actually, wait. Yeah, probably over 2 hours. Almost 2.5 hours. So
hey, well, we gotta give him the big episode.
Yeah, because this is like 2 weeks worth of 2 weeks.
Info.
Yeah, it truly is. So that about does it for the Hannahcast, guys. Bye.
Bye.